It's Matt Fulmer. I'm here with the Richland County Democratic Party. We're doing a listening and interview session with people from the community that have stories to share and issues they'd really love to talk about. And you are?
Tayyaba Sadiq.
Tayyaba, thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right.
Looking forward to talking.
How long have you been in the area? What brings you to?
I've been in Colombia, oh my goodness, 25 years or so. So Colombia's been home for a very long time.
Yeah.
South Carolina, different parts of Colombia and South Carolina, yeah.
Okay, sweet. And how long have you been engaged with the county party?
Well, I've known Valerie Moore for a number of years. We've spoken in the past about environmental issues. We've talked about election-related issues as well. So it has been probably about 6 years or so that I've known, and been engaged.
All right, well, longer than me. long time stalwart over here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Well, thank you for coming today. What is it that you primarily want to talk about and you want to share with other people today?
Well, one thing that I wanted to share is how we can show our humanity, our empathy, and be at one with our fellow human beings here and around the world. Specifically, what I'm concerned about right now is the humanitarian crisis that is being created in Gaza, in the fact that there are men, women, and children who are being starved to death. Unfortunately, not starving, but starved. And so that's something I wanted to talk about, how, firstly, what is happening and how we can make a difference, how we can reclaim our humanity again and help solve whatever it is that we can solve.
Yeah, so I guess starting with the first part of that is, what is happening right now?
So right now, there are 2 million people who are trapped inside Gaza right now. Again, men, women, and children who are cut off since March 2nd. And this is obviously the latest in a very long process of dehumanization and a lot of humanitarian suffering. But specifically since March 2nd, almost all food, water, fuel, medicine has been cut off from the people of Gaza. And most recently, I'm joining with Veterans for Peace, FOSNA, Friends of Civil North America. I also do advocacy work with the Friends Committee on National Legislation, and we are trying to do whatever we can to end the humanitarian crisis and work towards a just peace. One of the most immediate things, as we were talking about, is the starvation that is being perpetrated on people. FOSNA, since May 22nd, and there's about over 700 veterans and allies and just different regular human beings who are coming together, and they're doing a fast for Gaza. It's a 40-day fast, but there are 2 major asks. And the first thing is, let humanitarian aid in under UN authority. And second, stop sending more and more weapons to the Israeli government. And it goes to our basic laws. I mean, if other than the humanity of it, we have laws that say, our Foreign Assistance Act, Section 620I says that if a military is blocking humanitarian aid, we are not allowed to transfer weapons. Food should never be weaponized.
Yeah.
Water, medicine, all these supplies that UN organizations, UN Relief Works Agency, the World Food Program, AFSC, religious and international organizations, they were delivering food, medicine, whatever care they could at 300 different sites, at least, around Gaza. They were taking food and medicine and water to where people are, and whatever little bits of food they were getting in. But since March 2nd specifically, those thousands of trucks that are filled with aid are right on the other side of the border, and they're being blocked by a military that we're sending weapons to. And that's something we have to speak up against. We have to take action. We have to say that the United Nations and these other aid organizations, they were functioning under humanitarian principles of accountability, independence, actual, doing the job that that they love to do, which is take care of people. Let's let people do their job. Let's give food, not bombs. But let's not create a man-made famine. Let's not create a drought.
Yeah, my dad's actually in the hospital right now. He just had a triple bypass surgery, and so I'm walking in, I'm seeing him every day with all the equipment, and multiple times I thought, there are people trying to do this same thing without the supplies needed, without the levels of sanitation or professionalism needed because of the blockade, because of the restrictions on food and medicine. And that just blew me away. I mean, there's absolute angels out there still trying to do that work, So, yeah, it's a really tough moment. It's a really tough moment for people, I think, who have allowed themselves to really investigate the situation and to let the best parts of their humanity, connect to other people, even if they're an ocean or so away. But how are you navigating this? Like, if we're trying to figure out what difference can we make here in South Carolina, in Columbia, is there anything you found, any way you're trying to navigate this space to help have a better outcome for people in the Gaza region?
Excellent question. Firstly, I wish your dad a speedy recovery and
no, thank you. Yeah, he's on the up and up. Yeah, he's in a good place.
That is wonderful, and I can see that you're connecting not only with him, and he's so happy to see you, but also with all his caregivers.
Yeah,
you see the work that they do, and there are, like exactly like you're saying, there are phenomenal doctors in Gaza, men and women who are giving everything of themselves. I'm thinking of Dr. Ala Najjar, who 9 members of her family were killed, and while she was on duty, and her husband is a doctor as well, and he went home, to be with his children, and they were hit with an airstrike. A bomb was dropped on their house, and they were brought while she was on duty, and she had to keep going. So there are doctors there trying to, with whatever scraps they have left, in whatever conditions, still provide care to each other. You have humanitarians, community members who are creating soup kitchens. There's Gaza Soup Kitchen. They're creating soup kitchens out of whatever they can, because humanity's instinct is to help and to take care of each other. In the same way we here want to help out, because these aren't, yes, they're an ocean away, but they're also our neighbors. There are Palestinian Americans over here. There are Israeli Americans over here. There's people here within our own neighborhoods whose family members are just being devastated, whose family members are being starved and killed as well. And I mean, I have a young friend who's there, whom we, whenever we're able to get in it, are talking to. And this is, a brilliant young woman who's wants to be a diplomat and just wants to go to school and teach her brothers and everything. So they're human beings just like us. But she sent me a voice note about what you go through when you're starving. And they still go volunteer where they can. The Fast for Gaza helps me understand a little bit, and I don't know if I'm actually answering your question, but
I do want to hit that point, the Fast for Gaza. I want you to have enough space to fully explain that to the listeners. So whatever pace you need to go to get there.
Okay.
I just hope you get there.
I will definitely do my best to get there. So what this fast does is it's teaching us what people go through when you are hungry. And hunger hurts. It is physically painful, but it's also very emotional. And I know here in Columbia or in South Carolina, we're doing it as part of a phone banking group. We share, we become a chain. So during the week, I'll do the fast, and then our friend will do it on the weekend. And so we pass it on to each other, but keep that 40 days going. I know on Mondays when I start, it is very emotional for me. There's this sadness. And like you were saying, your dad gets access to this care. Mm-hmm. We don't want that ever taken away from him or anybody.
Yeah.
I'm thinking how difficult it is and how cruel it is just to have food restricted for no reason whatsoever from somebody. And then I still have to work. We still have to do what we need to do. I need to feed my children. I remember there was this one day that I was just physically very exhausted, and I knew I had to get up and make dinner. And I was just thinking, like you have to think about what actions you take. There was one day that I had to work in the yard and do some like digging holes and moving concrete and whatnot. And I was flashing back to those men who are civil defense workers, volunteers who are having to dig through rubble despite not having food or water. And I knew that with my fast, I'm doing it till sunrise to sunset. I knew that there was 12 more hours before I could have water. And I had to calculate, I have to stop after 2 hours because otherwise I'm not going to be able to make it. And I'm just thinking those men, what calculation they had to make of how long can I keep digging, because then I have to walk God knows how far to try and find water or to try and find food for my family, for whoever is pulled out of this rubble. So the physical empathy is something that can bring the immediacy for all of us, that this should not go on for a single day more.
Right.
What is it that we can do? We can, if you want to fast, do the 250 calories a day, because that's what, if they're lucky, people in Gaza get access to 250 calories a day. Call our elected officials. I mean, we've got Representative Clyburn, we've got Representative Wilson, we've got Senator Scott and Senator Graham, and anybody who's a candidate, just call them and tell them what is happening and why we have to make sure that food has to get in. Food, water, medicine has to get in under humanitarian, under UN authority, because we want that transparency.
If people are interested in engaging locally, are there any groups or are there any other community organizations that you'd like to give a shout out to help direct people to?
Absolutely. So FOSNA is FOSNA. It's Friends of Civil North America. Veteransforpeace.org. You can go on the sites and you can sign up. Here in South Carolina, I'm part of the South Carolina Friends Committee for National Legislation Advocacy Team. It's FCNL. You can go to fcnl.org. It's a Quaker organization, and we're just regular people, people who have been brought together in friendship by our caring for our fellow human beings.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, and we're doing whatever it is that we can to do. And you mentioned about the like, what is the fast for Gaza?
Yeah.
So the FOSNA site and the Veterans for Peace, they do have a statement on there where you can see what it is that they're asking for and why they're doing it. And these are veterans and regular people of all ages, people with health conditions, people who just care and cannot sit by and not do anything anymore. And part of their statement is just two simple asks. We've got to make sure that we let food in, we let humanitarian aid in under UN authority, and we've got to make sure to stop sending more weapons. And again, going back to our following our own laws. We're sending weapons at the rate of almost a shipment every 12 hours. So it's not like we're not doing anything. We are doing a lot. Yeah. But what we're doing it's a failed policy in 20 months. We haven't gotten every hostage back. Palestinian or Israeli hostages haven't all been released. I'm thinking about like their families who want to be with their loved ones. You've got 2 million people being starved. And I think about like there's a picture of this young girl who holds up a picture of herself on her phone, and she's emaciated.
I remember, yeah.
You've seen that one?
Well, I mean, yeah, and I remember from pictures back from Yemen and stuff. I mean, I don't want to be too graphic for people that are sensitive, but we do need to realize this is happening, and we have the option to engage with it a local way. You can look at people from these conflicts, including Yemen, and I remember they look like shrunken heads. They look like voodoo dolls. I mean, it is an incredibly difficult image to see.
And these are people and kids just like my kids and all our children. You're exactly right. I remember with Yemen, this is something that FCNL was engaged with back then. We were saying don't send more weapons to Saudi Arabia when they are blocking humanitarian aid. Yeah. We, in front of the State House, laid out 40 pairs of shoes, one representing every 1,000 children who would starve to death.
And I wanted to ask you a question that helped people kind of gauge how our government is actually a part of this operation, how this is not just a foreign conflict, it is something we are very much involved in. So with what I'm trying to get at. I hope I've
Yeah.
anchored the question. I hope you can run with it.
Absolutely, absolutely, yes. So there were allegations against UNRWA that again were there was no real evidence given for them, but there's allegations that are thrown out that, like, Hamas is stealing the aid, or these there's no oversight over these agencies. Well, that's part of the humanitarian principles that the UNRWA, World Food Program, AFSC, UNICEF, these are Save the Children, Doctors Without Borders, these are all well-known, well-established agencies with accountability. And so we can go to them and say, hey, give us reports and prove to us that you are delivering the aid. And they've all said, Cindy McCain from World Food Program has said, show me the evidence that you're saying this is being stolen, this aid is being stolen. Instead of that, there is this new organization called Gaza Humanitarian Fund that was created by the U.S. and the Israeli government, U.S. and Israeli people coming together to create this organization to say that we will deliver aid instead. Now, we talked about the 300 aid distribution sites that all these groups were the humanitarian organizations were delivering food through. The concept of 300 means that the people, you have to deliver aid to people where they are. You can't expect people who've been bombed, who are injured, who are starving, to walk miles and miles to this other place to try and get food. So we need to go back to, like, actually delivering aid the way aid should be delivered. Then you've got Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, which is corralling everybody into 4 sites at most, and then basically Squid Games of these quadcopters will say, all right, stand up, now get down. You don't get down fast enough, you get shot at. Go into this area, wait for hours, do this, do that. And as I was talking about how it feels when you're hungry, you have to think about every action and the amount of energy that it takes to get up and get down. In addition to just like the lack of oversight over this organization, the fact that it's not delivering humanitarian aid in the way that aid should be delivered, with dignity, with human dignity. We also have reports now, Reuters is reporting, Zateo is reporting that this GHF is asking for $30 million for June 1st through June 30th, and $30 million every month from the US government for operations. Another thing about the type of aid that they are delivering is medically, when you are starving or malnourished, you have to be very careful about what type of, like how to refeed, it's called. You can't just give people, pure carbs or things like that. Yeah. You have to give, protein packs, and you have to give the right type of nutrition. You need baby formula that is running out right now. The aid packages that they're given have rice, pasta, lentils, oil, not water.
Not water.
How can you cook without water? Yeah. And again, water is something that's being cut off. Fuel is being cut off, so you can't. So the desalination plants that have been bombed are not even able to operate. Medicine, where's the medicine in these aid packages? All these things are. It's almost like they're engineered to ethnically cleanse or like literally kill people. Yeah. Because when you're hurt, also when you've been bombed, you're wounded, you need more nutrition, or else you will not be able to heal properly. Yeah. And I'm thinking back to my example, like, I'm fasting and I have the blessing that when I open my fast, I can go to my fridge and get the right protein and or vegetables or fruits that I need. Every human being should have access to that as well. Yeah. And lastly, I'll just take it back to what you're talking about local issues. We as a government, are we taking money away from SNAP and Medicaid and Medicare and then using it to build more bombs and weapons here in the United States? I want all of us to just go back to thinking about how we can help people the most at home, around the world, and share our humanity.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming here today. It's been wonderful to have you. Is there anything else you'd like to send the guests away with before we close here today? I
thank you so much for the opportunity. We'd love to engage more, learn more, find out for yourself. There's a lot of sources. There's shows, Democracy Now!, Zateo, listen to the world news. Get as much information as you can. See how you can help out, and just keep calling your elected officials tell them humanitarian aid in under UN authority, food, not bombs. Don't send more weapons.
All right,
Thank you.
everyone.